test the recording on this too. So, how's that mac and cheese?
Yeah. Fucking macky cheesy.
Oh, there's the cat. Hi, Dakota.
Meow.
Meow. Welcome everybody to the One Wheel Peel podcast. I am your first co-host, Carbon, and this is my other co-host, Natron the Giant.
Hello.
On this podcast, we are essentially just talking about things in the car community, car world, ranging anywhere from your local Honda Civics to the worldwide known Bugatti Chiron or Bugatti Divo. Anything in the spectrum is kind of on our list. We have a list of topics of things we want to talk about. If you guys feel like you want to hear our story on or opinions on whatever car community wise is going on, feel free to leave a comment. Let us know. We'll consider it, and we might even talk about it. And hell, maybe even shout you out. So,
Probably.
I mean, this is our first attempt at doing this. So I guess we'll see how this goes. Yeah. Essentially, this episode's just getting to kind of know us as your co-hosts, just kind of things we're into and kind of how we got started in our own car community. So, do you want to take the first bat or you want me to? Because I'm fine with whatever one.
Do you know I can start off. I guess me. So I'm Natron the Giant. I've been kind of in the car scene since towards the end of middle school, the beginning of high school. So I first really started getting into into the car scene and enjoying cars and understanding everything about cars. And the reason why is it's kind of cheesy and stupid, but 8th grade, I was like, I don't know, 13, 14. I randomly came across a show called Top Gear, the old original Top Gear, BBC.
Oh yeah.
The big three.
Hammond.
Yeah. And I got hooked. I got hooked on the dry British humor, the way they presented the show, how they talked about cars, but the big thing was their passion for the cars and how they talked about it, why they did it.
Yeah.
It was one of the big talking points and big reasons why I got into the car community. And then from there, it just sprouted into this weird semi obsession. Nothing crazy. Like I don't have a shop full of just project cars, but more of the James May style of things where
the simplistic.
Simplistic. Exactly.
Stuff, yeah.
The car comes out, I'll research on it and see what it's all about, get the specs on it, and then move on to the next thing and enjoy them that way. The nerdery behind it.
More of the kind of like deep diving like into like what makes that car kind of deal.
Pretty much exactly. And then certain cars, some of the there's some modern cars that do, but like the history behind the car and why, where it came from and whatnot. Take like the Shelby GT, for example. I mean, that car has a crazy history.
Oh yeah.
Going all the way back to the 60s to today with the new the freaking Hertz has a GT350 that has 900 horsepower now. Like,
yeah. Yeah, it's
like, I mean, just it spans, and that's not just American cars, European, Asian, whatnot, and what have you.
Yeah. I just want to clarify for anybody. He was talking about the Mustang GT, right? Because I think you just said the GT. So I just want to clarify. It's the Mustang GT.
The Shelby GT, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there.
No, that's good. Thanks for the clarification on it. Yeah, and then from then throughout high school, I just kept deep diving into cars, understanding them, whatnot, and then now it's evolved into what I have now. I got an 05 S55 AMG that unfortunately has a hole in the engine somewhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then throughout that, I found F1. Big Mercedes fan. Lewis Hamilton fan, not so much. But I mean, cars in general, Mercedes is my number one, and then Ford's going to be my number two, only for the Mustang.
Yeah.
And I do like the GT, the
Ford GT. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotcha.
And that's another car that has crazy history too. I mean.
Oh yeah, especially like versus Ferrari and all that. Yeah, I think that's on the schedule for a later
I think it's
episode.
like
But
week 3 or 4.
yeah, whichever one we decide that one to be on, I guess.
Right,
But
which that's the one I'm looking forward to that one. That's gonna
so
be,
so can I ask why Mercedes? I think I've been curious about this for a while, and I might have asked you prior, but why Mercedes?
so going with Mercedes, and I'm gonna keep touching on the history point because I'm a history nut. But with Mercedes is they've always been known for reliability, power, and like luxury and class.
Oh yeah.
Which I mean, if you've known me for a while, those are three of
Oh,
some of my
oh yeah,
traits.
big time. Well, especially within
Um,
the short time you've had your Mercedes before it sadly kicked the bucket for
right.
the time being. I mean, even in
Well,
that time,
I wouldn't say kick the bucket. It's like in a coma.
it's in a food coma. It ate too much.
It did. It ate too many Hondas.
Yeah, there you go. But well, even though you say that, you're still kind of a Honda guy too.
I am a Honda guy. I had a Honda Civic. I'm actually looking at getting another Honda Civic. They're reliable cars. They're
But
they're fun little cars to drive. It's like James May said.
yeah,
You don't have to go fast to have fun.
well, yeah, that's true. I do like a good
Right.
low horsepower car, but respectfully, whichever one I would want.
Exactly. But going back to why I like Mercedes so much is it's the power, the luxury thing and everything else, but also um going back to the Top Gear thing, like with Jeremy Clarkson, and I have a lot of respect for the guy, even though he could be absolute bonkers, the orangutan. Um, it's the only car, the AMG GT. I think it was a Black Series GT, if I remember right. He said it's the only car that has too much power, and this guy is, he's all power.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
think, right? It's his only car. He said that has too much power, and when a car could do that to someone like him,
Oh
I
yeah.
really love it.
Oh yeah.
Like
I agree.
that's unique. That's unique in itself, right?
Oh yeah.
But then going back to the history of the Mercedes, I mean, like a little child thing here. I got my little 300 SL. I mean, right?
That looks like something out of James Bond.
Exactly. That's another reason why I like it. Is it's that old, like it's mysterious yet serious.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I gotcha.
That's why I like Mercedes so much. And then the technology behind it's just fucking.
Well, yeah, depending on especially which model Mercedes you buy,
Yeah.
I'm not. I told you earlier today, but just for the viewer's sake, I'm not much of a Mercedes-Benz fan. I do respect obviously what they put out, but I would never own one. I don't really see much of, what all is behind it. There is one thing that I don't fuck with though, and I think that's what a lot of people will agree with is the C63 Black Series that came out.
That car is nasty.
It's so nice. It sounds amazing too.
It sounds so good.
That German V8 sounds amazing. And I will say that engine itself rivals American muscle sounding V8s. And honestly, if I heard that and compared to like a choppy LS, I would kind of shit my pants a little bit. I would shit that over like the choppy 5.3 out of your dad's fucking, Silverado
Right.
from the 80s or whatever the fuck,
Yeah.
So, but
Yeah. So that's a little bit about me, I guess, and where I came from the car community, kind of what I like and my interests are,
Yeah.
in cars in general. Let's hear your side. What do you got? What's your backstory?
so for me, mine was kind of a very late development. I didn't start really getting into cars until about like 2015, 2016, like my sophomore, junior year of high school, somewhere around there.
Okay.
And around when I got my first car, and this may sound stupid, but a lot of it was kind of inspired by Discovery Channel's like Motor Mondays that they had. Like,
Hey, man, that's not stupid. If you remember the show like Modern Marvels or How It's Made, how they
Yep.
show you how they
Yep.
made stuff.
yeah,
They came out with one that like they show you how to make like how they made cars.
yeah,
That enthralled me. So that's not stupid. That's just
yeah.
you like the technical side of things.
Oh yeah, well even then, like just kind of understanding like the financial bit of it too. Like a lot of it was like Fast and Loud, watching like Richard Rawlings and Aaron Kaufman like build cars within like 2 weeks, and like especially taking like an old like Model A, like 1930s Model A, and then like 2 weeks later like
It's that Barrett
literally
Jackson
within
stuff are
like
crazy.
half an hour before the thing needs to roll onto the Barrett Jackson floor. They're like, we need to get this done and shipped out, and then they get it done. And it's like, obviously, there's that movie magic part of the TV show, but it's still,
Right, exactly.
just kind of. And then another one was Street Outlaws. I guess that's kind of what amplified more of like the racing part of me. Like I do want, and as a kid, I always watched NASCAR with my dad too. So just,
Right.
I mean, something about watching, cars go 200 miles an hour at a, banked left turn.
Left turn simulator go. I think that's a topic too, is going into like racing. I think later
Yeah.
on one of the weeks.
Yeah.
'Cause, there's gonna be a hot take from me, and it might trigger some people.
Oh, yeah.
Or some people might agree with it. So
Oh yeah, and I think just even between you and I, we got a little bit of different sides on that. But yeah, it was just kind of through those, and then as well as one of our friends as well that we have. He's way more of a car guru than I am, and I don't. I think just hanging out with him, he had like an '89 Camaro RS, so V6 with a 5-speed. And just riding around with him in that, I was kind of like, this is what my car could do. Keep in mind, I had a 1998 Monte Carlo with the 3.1 liter V6. So like 150, 160 horsepower, and it was complete dog shit. Like the car was worth no more than like the lint you find in your pocket. Like, but the thing was it didn't have much for rust, and it was decent fuel mileage. And all it had to do was get me from A to B, yeah. So there was later on, it was kind of funny where like later on in high school, I think just before I graduated, I ordered my very first aftermarket part.
Nice.
A cold air intake for that car. It was very not worth the $300 I spent, because my dad wound up just going like, "Where's the stock intake for this?" And I'm like, "It's in the garage." And then he just wound up putting it back and then sold it. So, but I mean, I will say the car looked really good. It was a white Monte Carlo with chrome down the side, like the chrome paneling that comes straight from factory on the side. And then the only thing that I hated about the car was that it had white wheels. So it was like a white on white from factory. It was gross. Believe me, it was gross. So like I can't remember I think it was my junior year. Our buddy and I went to an AutoZone. I know, an AutoZone. And bought like semi-gloss black paint, and then just spray painted my wheels black. So it actually looked pretty good. We put like 3 or 4 coats on the wheels to make sure that it we didn't miss anything. It wasn't too heavy. All that. And it actually turned out to be a pretty decent looking car after that. But then one funny story about high school as well is I was very tired one afternoon. Like it was like a Thursday. We were writing papers for English class, and I looked at Tanner, our buddy, dead in the eyes, and I said, "What does a muffler do?" And he'll bring that up every now and then. He's like, "Oh, look at who doesn't know what a muffler does." It's like, well, fuck, you don't need a fucking muffler anymore, anyways. Yeah. So, but yeah, and you kind of touched on your Mercedes. I am kind of a general all around. I think I favor more imports over domestic. So
I'm with you on that one.
Like I'm more of JDM import though. Like Euro is. If I had to split it up into percentages, I'd have to say probably about 50% JDM, 40% American or domestic, and then 10% Euro. There are some Euro cars that I will like praise. Porsche being one of them. I love what Porsche does, even though all their cars look practically the same. It's their thing, as well as their performance doesn't lie and their reliability doesn't lie. I mean, yeah, it could be a pain in the ass to work on those, but I mean,
it's worth it.
I mean, so are Subarus. Subarus are a pain in the ass to work on as well. But
so is an 05 S55.
So, but I think, I mean, if there's one thing that I definitely do think, like, Natron knows this. I had an 06 Mazda Speed 6 like a year to a year and a half ago. and I absolutely loved that car. I actually blew the engine up in that car, and then wound up buying a new engine, spending like the $9,000 in total to get it fixed, and then like 3 or 4 months later, I wound up selling it, and I regret it highly. Just I love that car. I didn't. That was kind of another car that, especially locally, not a whole lot of people owned, especially in the condition that I had mine in. And on top of that, the amount of like kind of respect among Mazda Speed people in the community I got. So everybody else drove like Mazda Speed 3s. I was the only one that showed up to meets with a Speed 6. And like people actually paid attention to my car from that little community. So it was pretty cool to see that and get that recognition, and I kind of miss that every now and then. But so yeah, that's kind of how I got into cars, and as well as just I guess doing like oil changes too, and just kind of seeing how everything underneath the car looks, and you're like, holy shit, this is fucking cool. I want to,
Right.
I want to completely rebuild this thing, But so
Touching on that too, that's another thing that I forgot to touch on with mine is, so my first car was a 1991 Chevy Silverado, which I still have and I'm driving today.
Oh, yeah.
Grenaded Mercedes.
I wouldn't say grenaded, but out of service for temporarily.
Yeah, well, yeah, sure. Coma. But anyway, so I bought the car, and or the truck, and it's kind of a funny story. So, I was 16 years old. I was the late bloomer to getting my driver's license, right? It's like, I just got my driver's license. I need a car. So me and my dad were looking around everywhere. We find there's an auction. It was like a farmer, passed away, and having an estate sale type thing.
Yeah.
And this pickup was on it, and we're like, all right, that's pretty cool. I'd probably go for relatively cheap. Which at the time it was a little bit on the high end. I got it for $4,500.
Okay.
But it sat like a barn. Most of its life was a farm truck, so it had like no miles. It was taken well care of, or so I thought. So I was like, hey, yeah, let's do it. Let's buy it. Whatever. So we bought it. Drove it home. Got it home. I drove it for about a month or so, and then all of a sudden, like it wouldn't hold like compression or something.
Ooh, yeah.
We couldn't really figure out what it was. If it was that, or if it was a transmission issue, or what. But it wouldn't run. So me and my dad, we decided, like, hey, you know what? This is a 91 Chevy. It's basic mechanical, 350.
Oh yeah. I don't think you could get any more bare bones than like
no, you
a
can't.
Chevy with a 350.
So we went out, we got all the tools, got the parts, got a cherry picker and an engine stand, and they're like, hey, let's just rip this thing down, right? So after practice or after school or on the weekends, I was in the garage, I was knuckles deep in this 350.
Yeah.
Just, taking stuff apart, putting it, trying understanding and learning how like this engine works as I'm going, and just the experience of being able to get hands on ripping something down, putting it back together. Obviously, we brought it to a shop to have planed and else.
Yeah.
But just that experience of hands in, you're learning as you're going, you're understanding how this thing works. Just that's another major reason why I like cars, and I guess that's probably why I'm like so mechanical. Like, I like more of like the mechanical and technical side of cars.
Yeah, and that's
whereas
that's a side that I'm kind of developing more and more. Is I think I kind of want to pick more of that hobby up, but a little bit later on in life. Like where I'm at right now is I could, but I don't have the space to kind of rip something apart and do that.
So, yeah.
So
awesome.
But yeah, so we're going to transition into something that we kind of thought of. It's one of our side segments in these episodes. First one we're going to do is called Grinding Gears. So essentially it's something in the car community or car world that really rubs us the wrong way. And I'm going to go first. Just because I don't know if you got anything off the top of your head.
I kind of do, but I think as you go, I'll be able to like kind of branch off and either add on to your topic, because we usually, most of our gripes are about the same.
Yeah. So for me, I kind of have two things, but I'll go with the first one. Why the hell did Dodge make an EV charger? See, the last like announcement that I had heard before they had done this was that, and what I took into account was that they were going to essentially make Hellcats with electric assist. So essentially, like anything, like they would have produced something like a Challenger with like an all-wheel drive kind of system, like the NSX, where the front wheels are driven by electric motors, and then the rear wheels are all, you know,
Engine,
all are yeah are
straight
all
torque.
engine. So that's what I had thought they would have done, and that would have been nasty. Having
That would have
let's
been
say
insane.
the Demon coming out at 840 horsepower right off the line, right off production,
Hmm.
and it could run. What was the 0 to 60? It was like like
Oh God.
1.8 seconds. It was like one of the fastest production
Nah,
cars.
it wasn't that fast. Well, I think it was like around like a low two, like a 2.3 or
Yeah,
2.4.
but
Because
even
I know the
then,
only one that was sub two was freaking the Tesla
the
X or whatever it was.
yeah, but
The
like
Plaid.
the that's what I thought was going to happen. So they would have added it in like an electric assist motor to either the front wheels or somehow integrate it into the actual car itself to
Hmm.
produce more power, but still keep like that Hellcat heart. Like obviously they were going to discontinue the Hellcat, but if they
Hmm.
were going to remodify it and do something and do like a different version of it, but like name it something else. Obviously not like Demon or even like their crate motor the Hellevent, you know,
That thing's insane.
like if they would have done something like that, I think they would have gotten a lot more, positive feedback. Whereas instead of
Mhm.
producing an EV charger, the charger looks amazing though. Don't get me wrong, it looks good.
For a four-door family sedan, they actually did quite a good job on it. I mean,
Right.
there is some hiccups. Like that's one thing I would argue is like the early tens, the late thousands,
Hmm.
like those chargers, like they could
Yeah.
have done a little bit better on the design for those.
Well, they were coming back to the scene with those.
Hmm.
So, I mean, kind of starting from scratch. But I mean, what and the other thing, why the hell did they have to make artificial exhaust noises? That's the one thing I don't understand is
Yeah,
why they had to prioritize putting out artificial exhaust noises. It makes no sense whatsoever. So,
no idea.
now if they wanted to make an EV vehicle that had, more competition with like Ford's Mach E, right?
Hmm.
But like still kind of keep that, Charger name like the Charger E or whatever. Like they could have taken I think what they could have done was taken the Charger Hellcat, especially the wide body Hellcat, which looks
Hmm. I agreed.
if they would have taken that and then thrown an electric motor in that, I think it would have sold. I think a lot of people would have done, it would have done good. And obviously, no exhaust noises, like no artificial exhaust. So
No.
I mean, that's the first thing that comes to mind is why did they do that? It makes no sense. If they had some kind of cutting edge tech where it was like longer range than a Tesla or than the Mach E,
Hmm.
right? I could perfectly fucking see why. But why of all things do you produce the damn electric charger like that? You essentially you were up here, Dodge. You were up here. Now you're
Hmm.
now
You
you're
were.
you're 6 feet under.
I mean, they were before they announced the new GT, the Ford GT. They were
Hmm.
one of the only ones still making true muscle cars.
They
You know,
still are.
some people will argue that today's modern muscle isn't muscle; it's sports muscle or sports. But
I
I
don't.
mean, I still think it's muscle.
Well, then you get into the whole debate with like muscle cars and pony cars and all that other crap. But
Exactly.
to me, if you make like a modern day muscle car, like with what Ford and Chevy did with the Camaro, like making it, the ZL1
Hmm.
1LE, and then you
Hmm.
have the GT500, right? Both have produce good power, but they're also
Hmm.
meant for the track. Like you can take them to the drag
Exactly.
strip, but you can also take them to the track. Those are considered pony
Exactly.
cars, but it's still modern day muscle in my eyes. They're not considered sports
Hmm.
cars. They're considered modern day muscle.
Hmm. I agree, like 100% on that.
And then like I would have respected it too if Dodge like in their time frame to compete with like the GT500 and the Camaro ZL1 1LE, if they would have come out
Yeah.
with their own version of a pony car,
Oh,
I'd like
like
obviously I mean if
it'd
they
be
would have
tough.
done something with like the Viper but making it more of like a muscle thing. Like obviously Viper's been discontinued since what 2017,
Oh no,
I
that's
think.
before that.
I don't. I know it was. after 2012. It might be 2015. I
Might
could look
be.
it up, but that's for a later day.
Yeah.
But like, granted, a Viper is like high-end sports car, low-end supercar. It holds a record at the Nürburgring for a reason.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know. That's my opinion on what Dodge has done, and it's honestly, in my eyes, it's a curse to the car community, car world, everything. I don't like it. I think what they should do is take the step back, reevaluate what they've done, and then do something with what I thought they were going to do with like an electric assist Hellcat. I think a lot of people kind of thought similar to me. I think that's what we would like to see instead of a full like EV setup from Dodge.
Right. You bring in that, you see a lot of that in the European cars. You have your 918, the 918 is like full hybrid electric assist and everything. Obviously, it's not going to be up there with the 918 because hyper muscle, completely different, not even close. But you're starting to see that in some of like the lower end, like the M3s and M2s, your A-class Mercedes, like they're starting to become a commonplace in Europe. What we've seen, in America, in the past, in history, is that we've always been, well behind the curve. From what Europe's doing.
We're rather stubborn.
So that and regulations and everything too that we have to deal around. But again, that's the the whole push for EVs in America.
Yeah.
Why we've been electric fucking Dodge, but
yeah.
No, I completely agree with you on that one. I mean, they had a perfect opportunity. This you could put this into another segment that we're going to do in probably another episode called Missed Shifts.
Yep.
Is the whole hybrid electric assist.
Yeah, we might as well. I guess unless you have a different different grinding gears, I guess we could go into our second segment, which is missed shifts, if you would like.
Right. Full on. I full on agree with that 100%. Because my other one, the one I was going to do was based around EVs too, which was, with a standard car platform, you have your engine at the front or engine at the back and whatnot, and you have, pretty predetermined setup of how the car is supposed to look.
Yep.
Based off of all these different things. Well, with an EV, you have a chassis.
Yeah.
That's really it. You can do whatever you want with the body. You can make it look whatever you want, however you want. Going back to the old 1920s style of coach building. Basically, here's a chassis, here's some pre-built designs, or here's some materials.
Yeah.
Let your creative mind flow, and I can tie this in. I'm gonna tie this into both the grinding gears and the missed shifts, because you can do both here with this one. Is the grinding gear side is like with Tesla and Ford and all these Chevy's gonna come out with one here soon and whatnot. It's like you have all these young millennials, us Gen Zers, we're starting to get up there and age and the price bracket hopefully soon at some point. They have money to spend and they have creativity. We're some of the most creative minds right now on the planet, right?
Yeah.
Why are you giving us this set thing that looks like poop?
Yeah, like the Mach-E.
Like the Mach-E or any of the Teslas. To be honest with you, I think all the Teslas look terrible.
Yeah. I mean, like I can kind of respect how they look, but yeah, I agree. I do not like them. I do not like how Teslas look.
Like you can argue with like the Plaid, like it looks all right because I mean to be honest with you, it looks like they kind of copied Porsche a little bit.
Oh yeah. With whatever Porsche's electric is it like the Taycan or something?
The Taycan, which is honestly they freaking nailed that car.
Oh yeah.
Perfect. Like it's almost perfect.
And this is where, like, in that missed shifts part of it, like, if you're going to make an EV, look at what's going on around you. Obviously, we're both favoring the Porsche Taycan, right? It looks good. It's fast, and to my knowledge, it's reliable, When I heard that the Ford company was making an electric Mustang, and again, I think a lot of people were like, oh, cool, we get, like, this two-door electric Mustang or hybrid Mustang. They have the 2.3 liter turbocharged EcoBoost. They could make an electric
good engine.
I should know. I had a 2.3 liter turbo. Wasn't an EcoBoost, but I had one in my Speed 6. It's a good motor. make an electric assist for that and put it in that body. That would be that'd be a great, hybrid, but it's a Mustang, right? You still have everything. You can still
You
have
got
everything
the
there.
and with that, you got the best of both worlds because you have, it's the turbo EcoBoost. The thing is a decent speed, like it's a decent quick engine,
Yep.
right? You can get decent power out of it, decent speed.
Yeah.
Well, also if you drive it like a normal human,
Yeah.
you get good gas mileage. Like when I came back, it's a little side story, but it goes with the hybrid,
Oh yeah.
the whole hybrid technology of the EV stuff. I had some flight issues coming back from Arkansas, right?
Mm-hmm.
Down there for a conference. And my flight got messed up, so I was forced to drive from Dallas back to Fargo. And I was lucky enough, I kind of swindled my way in and kind of choose whatever car I want. So I went with 2018 or 2019.
Yeah.
The EcoBoost, the turbo EcoBoost Mustang.
Yep.
It's like, whatever. If I'm gonna drive, I might as well drive, have fun with it, right?
Oh yeah.
I got 32 or 33 miles to the
Oh
gallon.
yeah.
with that thing.
They're fucking stellar. Like,
And the turbo sound was amazing.
oh yeah, and that's where I praise like the new Acura NSXs. They have 3 electric motors in that thing. The first 2 drive the front wheels, and then the third one replaces turbo lag.
Holy crap.
Ford, if you were gonna make a Mach E, copy that. Or if you're gonna make a hybrid Mustang, copy that. The EcoBoost is great on its own, right? You add in an electric motor to take away turbo lag. Oh my god,
Yeah.
it's amazing, right?
Well, at that point, I mean, you're almost getting into you're almost getting into GT territory at that point. Like,
But that's what I'm saying is it's a competitor, and even then because the EcoBoost is cheaper than the GT, right? If you truly
$70,000,
yeah, so if you truly want to set up some competition between the two, you have I have 2 models for you. One's to replace the damn turbo leg, an electric assist EcoBoost, or you have a Coyote, which is a very good motor. All you got to do, I think, is like timing chain and a couple oil things, and then you could twin turbo it and make double the power.
yeah. Like,
So
you would destroy the market.
So
with that.
Ford, why?
Exactly,
You gave us a
right?
4-door piece of shit. The only thing that looks good on it is the wide body kit when it's slammed. Like with what Von Gittin Jr.
Yeah.
I think Von Gittin Jr. did it.
Mm-hmm.
That looks amazing. I will say that looks amazing. But the factory version, Ford, why? There's your miss shift right there.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
I'm in full agreement. Full agreement.
Yeah. No, 100%. Like, it's just, like, come on.
Well, and so then I guess going from this, because I think I could work an electric vehicle into a dream garage if I really wanted to. But the next little part of this episode here is kind of what, if we had the money to do it, what would we like to see if we opened up? I think what I did was I wrote down 5 cars, and so like a kind of like a 5-car garage or like a 4-stall, and then you got to park one outside, right?
Yeah.
And so for me, I am. Yeah.
What are we doing categories here? Or are we just doing whatever?
Yeah.
you
Here,
want?
let me rip off what I got. I have a daily, 2 project cars, a show car, a supercar, and then I guess I have 6.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I was gonna say you could just pull up the spreadsheet that I sent you.
Yeah, I got it right here.
So
Yeah, I'll just mirror that. I like it.
So for me, I'm gonna rip right off the bat here. A daily, I like having a pickup for a daily. Now this goes back and forth. I like the look of the Dodge TRX. I do. It's also got a Hellcat motor in it, so
I will agree with that. I know a lot of people that I know don't like the TRX.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. I think it looks good.
Like I'd have to test drive it to truly like see why somebody wouldn't like it.
If you compare it, the TRX compared to the Raptor, just based off the looks, I'm gonna take the TRX.
Yeah.
Beforehand, I was like, no, I like the Raptor. That's cool.
Now,
it's kind of widey.
Now, if I had to choose it over looks, I'm sorry, I would take the Raptor. I've liked the Raptor way longer than I have the TRX, but between the two, if I had to choose one, like immediately, I would take the TRX because more power and it's Dodge, and I like Dodge. I also like Ford, but in terms of like reliability in my eyes, I think Dodge does a little bit better, especially for trucks. So,
I agree.
and it also depends on what generation Raptor you go with, but those two are very interchangeable for me because it depends on what your Raptor that I'd have to choose for. But for a daily, I'd have to go with a TRX. So,
Which I like. I agree. Yeah, I would second that.
I mean, the only other thing that
Probably one.
only other thing
Go ahead.
I could go with is like what I have now. I have an '05 Silverado 2500. That's the only other thing is I'd keep going with Duramax because Duramax it's a good motor and I like it. I like the sound of them. And
You and your diesel things.
hey,
I like
you asked
diesels.
Tanner.
I don't
Tanner's
know.
gonna throw Cummins your way.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, yeah.
I mean, as much as I don't like driving diesel because of the gas or like the price for diesel at the pump. Diesel to me still. I mean, owning it, I feel comfortable driving it. So, I mean, a little bit of winter maintenance where we're here, where we live.
You put in put in your
right.
anti-HCs or your gel and whatnot.
Yeah, and plug it in. I mean, but
Oh, that's what I gotta do here soon. I gotta put a block heater in my pickup. Fuck, I forgot about that.
so good thing I reminded you again. So what would
Thank you.
so what would you go with for a daily then?
Oh man, there's so many options that I could choose. I mean, I do like the idea of having a pickup where we live, but right now, I mean, in the market of pickups,
They're very
There
expensive
is-
though.
they're expensive, but there really isn't like
There ain't
really
much
good
out there.
options right now.
Or even like some
think-
that look all that good either. Like
I think the only pickup I think I would buy right now is the one that one of our friends' dad has. It's the Toyota Tundra 1880 or 1890 edition or whatever it is.
Toyota does make good trucks. So that was one
that's a
thing
nice
I
truck.
didn't really look at. In terms of reliability, yeah, Toyota. I wouldn't get the
All day.
I wouldn't get the diesel though. Like the Titan
No,
with the V8 Cummins. I wouldn't do that.
Well, the Titan, that's Nissan.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, which I mean, now.
Goes to show you how
But,
much
I mean-
I listen to foreign pickups.
Literally isn't that much. So I mean, if I went pickup, I'd probably pick that Tundra. But I mean, really, honestly, for a good daily up here, that's reliable. You got good gas mileage. I mean, I had one in the winter. Honestly, I'm gonna go with the Honda Civic.
All right. I mean,
Like,
I can
it's-
respect it. Now, okay, what year Honda Civic?
I'm going the brand new, the 2022.
Okay.
I'm not going stupid. I'm not going Type R, even though the new Type R is freaking insane. It's a masterpiece. They've
Compared to the
absolutely crushed
last
it
one,
this year.
the last one,
dude.
the last one, man, the new one.
They absolutely crushed it this year compared to the last one. It looks. I mean, they both look spectacular. But the new one has got a better engine, better drivetrain, with
That's-
more technology stuff in it.
Didn't Honda release that, like the information that this is the most powerful Honda engine they've produced in? Is it in the Civic or is it just in general? That's the most
It's
powerful
in-
Honda.
I think it's in general. So like 380-ish horsepower, I
Oh
believe.
my God! Really?
It's got a lot. It's up there with it competes with the RS now.
It competes with the. Wow. All right.
Yeah,
Ford's
it
got a.
competes with the RS now.
Ford, do you want to
Well,
bring
you gotta-
back like the ST or the RS again?
I was gonna say, remember, the last time I had an RS, what, 2017?
Yeah.
Which
They only
again,
sold like just for that 1 year too, maybe 2,
Mm-hmm.
but I think definitely that 1 year.
So yeah, I mean, for dailies, I wouldn't get. Obviously, I'm not gonna go base model Civic because what am I, plebe? No, honestly, I had a sport. I liked the sport. It wasn't too much. It wasn't a boring car. It had all the fun features. It had everything else.
Yeah.
I'd probably go like a sport. I went to go an SI because I can't remember if the new SIs are they VTEC.
They might be. I think SIs have VTEC in them.
Because I'm not a big fan of VTEC. Which is
There's a
gonna,
lot of people that support the hell out of VTEC though.
I know it's gonna twist a lot of people, but I'm not a big fan of VTEC. But the sport, I mean, it's even,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So that's probably what I go for daily.
Now, quick side note to the
I am gonna touch on one thing though.
what?
In the Civic, there are two different versions. There's the hatchback, and then just the normal hatchback
Like
truck.
the coupe kind of deal.
You have the coupe and the
Or
hatchback.
sedan, excuse me.
Yeah,
Oh, I mean,
I'm hatchback all day. I'm I'm getting a hatchback all day. I for some reason I just love hot hatches, whether it's the Civic, the RS, or it's gonna make me almost vomit when I say this, but there are some nice Volkswagen hatches.
Yeah, I will say like I'm very. I'd have to say I'd have to do a little bit of research on like Volkswagen hot hatches, but I will agree there are some nicer ones out there. But quick side note for the viewers, I actually told Natron on how the Civics looked because he hadn't seen anything released on them, and I told them that they looked like they modernized like the '90s Civics, like the late '90s to early 2000s Civics. And then when he finally got a look at them, I think like 2 or 3 months later, he's like, "Dude, you nailed that description." And I was like, "I told you."
He nailed it, and I immediately fell in love with it.
I wouldn't. Okay, I would be lying if I said that I didn't want one either. I would love one. Don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
but it wouldn't be my daily. Like current day, if I got one, it wouldn't be the daily. Yeah, I would do stuff to it. So then we're gonna go into the first project car. To Nate's. Oh yeah.
I just don't
And
realize how big of a fucking forehead I have.
alrighty, so hello. We had some technical issues. Now we're back. Nate, if you would like to,
Carbon's computer pooped.
if you would like to take it off at the project or the first project,
Yes.
that'd be
So, going off of the dailies, I chose the Civic, obviously. I'm gonna take a drastic shift here for a project car. It's a car that I've always really liked and enjoyed. I saw it first in a movie back when I was a wee little lad,
a wee little.
which is the 1967 Shelby GT500 Fastback,
Nice car.
also known as Eleanor.
Ooh.
For you guys that are have seen Gone in 60 Seconds. Anyways, I don't know why I saw it. I love the color. I love the color of it. Black on black with the gray and black. Just for some reason, just my brain was like, ooh.
I think that was a lot of people's reaction.
Right.
Only
So I
problem
take
was it
that.
was
Obviously,
Nick Cage driving it.
yeah. We won't talk about that. But obviously, with licensing issues and whatnot, I can't make it look like the exact Eleanor, and I can't call it Eleanor. So what I would do is I take that gray, just make it all one color, and then have like black wheels on it, and do my personal touches.
Yeah.
And I do black interior. I'd be like a triple black with the gray, so not triple black, but gray on black.
Yeah.
And then add some modern touches to it. What I mean by modern touches is I'd take the engine from the 60s
Yeah.
and I'd work it a bit to make it
So would you do? Hold on. So would you do like the ninth? I don't know what year with the 302 was released. Was that late
it wasn't
60s?
it
'Cause
wasn't
it was
the
the
380.
280. It was the 289.
I think it was the 289 because I think the Boss 202 came out in 69.
Yeah.
Which I mean, I could get a fastback, but it's not the same fastback from 69 as it is in 67. So I'd take the 289, but then I would do the modern touches to it to make it not the empty gutless 289 that it was. I'd bump it up, maybe bore it out, put some modern aftermarket parts into it.
Yeah.
Do that. Modern. So a lot of people when they do like cars like this, they try to keep it as classic as possible, especially on the wheel side.
Yep.
I want to make it so it looks like it's from 67, but it's a more modern wheel. It's a little bit lighter, better material, and you can have a little more leeway with what kind of tires you put on it, and so on and so forth with that. And then I do some suspension with it to make it just the ride a little more comfortable.
Oh,
You know
yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
And then of course you do your exhaust stuff to make it sound like a mean muscle car that it is.
Yeah.
But nothing too like ridiculous. I'd probably try and keep it under 80 grand.
Good luck with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I respect it. It's a nice car, and I'm not. I'd say like the only '60s Mustang I'd get would be a '65, but that's a lot of people's kind of
Yeah.
'60s Mustang vibe. For me, for my first project, I've kind of always really liked second gen Camaros, and
Okay.
like so I
Okay.
guess you and I for the first project kind of have a similar like classic muscle kind of feel. Only like mine is a specific like 1973 Chevy Camaro Z28.
Is it going to be in the weird yellow that it came into?
No, it'll be in the orange, the production orange that it came in, and
Okay.
then the racing stripes on the hood and then the rear of the car.
Okay.
And then with that like black wheels, I think I wrote down a little bit here too. Um, I go back and forth on what I would want to do engine wise, but I know I want to LS swap it. Um,
Oh,
with
so you're gonna okay.
yeah, so I'm that's where like my
So
modernization is gonna be is like all internals.
okay,
So it'd be I wrote down a 5.3 liter LS. I like
that was one.
yeah, I think so. I off the top of my head and after a long day, it's I don't really
Yeah,
remember.
fair enough. Fair
So
enough.
yeah, we're gonna do that. Hopefully, fuck it. I'm gonna go turn my light on.
Okay.
But
Well, in the
yeah, so
meantime, while he goes and turns his light on, I can talk more on it. The early '70s Camaros, I guess, are
they're very hit
it's
or
it,
miss. I'd say
it's a
the later ones aren't as
mhm.
good looking in my eyes. I mean, I'd still take one, but the later ones like 74 and on, I don't really like as much. I still
It's a
love second gen
very
Camaros, like all of them, but after 74, it kind of falls off for me.
it's a very eclectic taste. It's kind of like the Charger as well. Like it kind of just dumps
Yeah,
off towards like the end of the '70s.
yeah,
And
and
I think all muscle cars died in the '80s.
yeah,
Which
I'll agree.
again, it's gonna be a hot topic because there's people that are like, "Oh my god, like notchbacks, like so good." I'm like,
I
"Well, no, they're not. They
I'll
look
take
like
a I'll take a notchback Fox body over the hatchback. I'm sorry, I don't like the look of the hatchbacks.
I think they all look terrible. That's just me.
Yeah. Um, but
If you're a
anyways,
drag racer, you're gonna be like, "Oh my god, they're so good because they're so light and you can do whatever you want to." It's like I don't drive in a straight line. I'm an actual race car driver. Sorry,
don't talk
sorry,
about.
tangent.
I was gonna say don't talk about shit we're gonna talk about later on.
Right.
But then I would throw a T56 in it, just
Right, man.
and then so obviously with an
Standard or
L,
Magnum?
obviously Magnum. I plan on making a little bit of power, but not something like over the top.
Hmm.
Um, but then of course a lot of people are gonna sit there and be like, well, carbon. Would you supercharge it or would you turbocharge it? I would leave it naturally aspirated. I'm sorry. I like the
I
way that
agree.
I look at it is I could turbo it. I could do a lot of things to that car, but I'm leaving it naturally
Yeah.
aspirated. Not no nitrous. Or like no spray,
Straight
no
NA.
other straight NA.
I like it. I respect that. I
It's
respect
got
that a lot.
it's got to have a choppy cam though. That's the one thing. And then I want to do a custom exhaust where it's side exit, but it's paneled just before the rear wheels like through the body.
Oh, so you want like the old NASCAR style?
Yep.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I would do something like that, and then like power
Spitting
wise,
flames from the side.
I do about like 500 to 550 horsepower. It really wouldn't be like something super over the top. It'd be a nice like kind of classic, taking the classic body of that and mixing it in with like more modern muscle kind
It's
of
one of
deals.
those where you can go and have fun on a weekend, but then
Exactly.
also daily drive it and not have to like pray to God you're gonna put too much power down and Mustang it.
Oh yeah, and that's where like the other thing too. I would have nasty fucking two step on that just because, just
Fair.
because
That's
like you
fair.
said earlier, spitting flames from the sides. You imagine being at a fucking intersection, some Honda Civic just roll like boom boom, and you're just like two step. So
And boom. And
um,
frick your can pops. Full on like cannon.
so then I'll go right into the second project here.
Hmm.
Now I told you earlier today, and obviously no one else really knows this besides like you and I. If I had my choice between A and B on this car, I would typically choose B.
Hmm. Yeah.
But it's still very iffy for me because I love both body styles. I would what I have written down is a 1990 Mazda RX-7. I love the FCs. I love the way they look. Everything. But at the same time, I love the FDs. If I had my choice, it'd probably be in 1997 or 2002. Those are the two kind of idolized versions. If I had gotten the 2002, it'd be like I think it's like the East, or no, not East Spirit. It's like Spirit R or something on there.
You know more of JDM than I do.
But I wouldn't. A lot of people even then are gonna be like, oh, LS power. It's again, no. I'd leave it.
Freaking Dorito power.
I would keep those.
Dorito power.
Keep those the 13B. I love the sound of the prop. Love it. Keep it with the 5-speed on the floor. It would be turboed, but it wouldn't be making a shit ton of power. It'd probably be closer to 350 to 400 horsepower.
Again, something you can have fun in, but
yeah. If I chose the FC, I would wide body it. So there would be a little bit of body work there. But if I go the FD route, no, I wouldn't wide body it. And then on either one though, there would be air ride. It would be on air ride. And then
now the big question with this, I don't know if you said it or not. I was drinking my tea, and I love tea. With the RX-7, they're always notorious for their colors and color combination. I'm really curious to see what you would choose compared to the rest of.
I'm glad you said something about that,
the RX-7 community.
People are gonna kind of hate me. I am a very big fan of Ford Leadfoot Gray.
Really?
Yes, I love Ford Leadfoot Gray. Yep.
So you got everyone over here. They're like, oh yeah, the nice pearl white, or the red that it comes in, or even like I've seen like purple.
Ford Leadfoot Gray. I'm sorry, Ford Red.
No, hey, I can actually see that looking really well.
The only other alternative I would do is another Ford color, which would be the Mustang blue, like the brighter, like ultra blue or whatever it's called. Like or GTA 5, it's called ultra blue. Like, but like, I would, I would get that one of those two colors, but I would highly favor Ford Leadfoot Gray.
Which I've seen those RX-7s in like the lighter blues. It looks really good.
Yeah, man.
I think my favorite like color that I've seen on an RX-7, and it isn't even a color; it's a wrap. Is someone wrapped it in the Arizona tea, like that blue?
Oh, okay, yeah.
That looks really, really good.
Yeah, I don't see. The thing is like on that car, I don't know if I would wrap it, especially if it's Ford Leadfoot Gray.
At that point, I mean, you just let that thing scream.
Yeah. So, and then I also did write down that I would have a hood exit exhaust just to let that rotary, even though it's 350 to 400 horsepower, just let it scream. Yeah. So, but I don't know if I would. I don't know if I would do that, but I have it written down. I think the FC I definitely would, but the FD I would run a full exhaust.
Okay. Oh man, for a second project. Ooh.
I was gonna say you're kind of pulling more out of the air than I am, because
I am Mr. Impromptu. Put me in a car, we'll just go with it, right?
Yeah.
Man, second one, it could be. I have so many off the top of my head. I mean, Kit Kat. Man, you've done everyone does the classic muscle. I mean, everyone does retro muscle, which is like your 90s-ish, 90s, 80s retro muscle. I mean, dude, it could be. I think what I would want to do, and this is going to be, coming from me off of left field a bit.
Okay.
I want to do an
S chassis.
An S14.
Ooh, okay.
I think I do an S14.
I could see an S chassis, yeah.
Yeah, I think I do an S14. I know very little bit about him. But I mean, they look good. It'd be my introduction into drift, because I always kind of wanted to learn how to drift a bit.
I did too.
I do a drifty type build, or I do one of those builds where it's fully adjustable. Where if you wanted to go drift, around. You could go. If not, you just adjust everything back and just be a normal human, right? Put in, so yeah, you were around that like the 3 to 5 to maybe 600 horsepower range. I mean, in this one, I'm gonna probably put in, put a 2J in it.
Oh, typical swap, yeah.
Put a 2J in it, and push 12 to 1500. Have some fun with it.
At that point, you might as well just drag race it.
I don't. No, you know my stance when it comes to drag racing.
Yeah, I know.
But or I mean, it doesn't have to go that. It depends, right? It depends on what I want to do, where I'm
Yeah.
at. If I'm up here, I probably won't do the full 12 to 15. I'll probably do like a 7 to 8.
Yeah, a good respectable. Yeah,
But if I move somewhere, where I can drive it year round,
like Arizona or something. Yeah,
and yeah, I'd probably go a little stupid, but
go for 4 digits.
yeah, probably.
Yeah, I
That'd
could
probably
see
be the
it.
only car I would.
Now,
One of the only cars I would push for 4 digits.
Now the question I have for you there is, would like obviously you're saying you do an all around build. Would you do a manual transmission or would you do automatic? Because if you're planning on drifting it, you might as well do manual.
I'm gonna counter you with neither. I'm gonna do a slap box, sequential gearbox.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
No, I can,
So
I can respect that.
So you have it'd be like kind of on the rally cars, Ford, that shit.
Yep.
I have both of my sticks right here. Do it that way.
Okay. No, I can respect that. That'd be a good option. The only reason I ask is I know the CD009, CD009 transmission out of, I think it's a 350Z, actually holds boost rather well, and it's a good good 6-speed manual. But obviously at that point, I mean, if you're pushing 4 digits, you're gonna want a T56 Magnum. So those hold like 1,200 horse.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and
Absolutely.
then obviously, if you decided one day that you want to drag race it, now you're gonna have to compete in a drag racing class with 4 digits of a TJ and an S chassis with a T56.
I better be pushing freaking low 5s.
What would be your show car?
Oh boy.
Or in this regard, I have cruiser and fun haver kind of grouped into all that. So show car, cruiser, fun haver, just all that.
Fucking show car. One of those cars that you're gonna drive 5-6 times a year. It's gonna sit in the garage.
But it's the it's the pride and joy.
Oh yeah, it's in a nice lit white shiny glass case in your garage. It's everyone comes to look at it, take pictures of it. Man, that one. This is gonna be kind of completely bonkers, price wise, and a little bit kind of ridiculous, but I'm gonna go 300 SL, a gray 300 SL.
Ooh, okay.
White stock gray 300 SL with a white interior. That's gonna be my show car. I know a lot of people when they say show car, it's like, oh, you got this crazy decked out thing. It's got crazy lights and colors on it. No,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go how I would represent myself as a person, which is that.
Yeah.
Old school, classy. This is what I am. I don't need to be, flamboyant to tell you that I am the boss of this car show.
Oh yeah.
Right. It's up there. You'd be up there with, like, God, why can't I think of it? The Ferrari.
F40.
No, older. Daytona, not the Daytona. Yeah, the Daytona.
Okay. Yeah, I gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think it's the Daytona.
Yeah. Your guess is as good as mine at this point.
I want to say
I'm not too close on Ferraris.
The older Ferraris, those ones where if you find one, it's like, hey, this is worth,
This is literally worth you. Yeah, I was gonna say this is worth the entire state of Texas.
Yeah, I could buy South Carolina with this car. That would be my show car.
Oh yeah, I could respect that though. That'd be pretty good. You might even win a couple of awards with that too, depending on how.
Man, head down to Pebble Beach with it. Those old. Or another one. I'm gonna kind of just throw this out there. If you can find one, and if you had the money for it, I think there's only like 3 or 4 left in the world. The Type 57C Bugatti from the 30s. That weird. It's got
that.
I'm talking about.
We were just joking about buying the state of Texas, dude. You could buy the entire United States for that car.
Yeah, right.
Like,
but if you rolled up in that, you are immediately. It doesn't matter at that point.
Dude, if you rolled up in that, I would ask where the hell you got the money for it.
Exactly. I would ask myself the same thing.
Funny enough, this private in the army got 40% down, 95%
40%
APR.
down on a $50 million car.
Mine, I'm actually going to change the swap on this from what I wrote down. I'm going to do a 1J swap.
1J?
Yep, 1J with that CD09 transmission. So keeping that with a nice big turbo, great stance, and air ride transmission. Or air ride transmission. Air ride suspension. And the car, it would go on. Yes, I know. I fucked up.
Yeah.
The car would be a 2000 Nissan Silvia Spec R, the S15 chassis.
Yeah.
I
that's
love that car. Like I love my RX-7s. I love my Mazda Speeds. I love everything right that, right? When it comes to that specific Silvia, I'm looking at you viewers. When it comes to that specific Silvia, that bitch mine. I love that car. I love it. Absolutely. And it goes down to like the 240s, everything. Like if I had my opportunity to buy a 240, I would. Any day of the week. S13 240 as well. I'm not a big fan of the S14s, S13 and an S15 Silvia. I love them. Absolutely. And yes, a lot of people could disagree. Like, why would you do a 1J? That's a shit motor. Blah, blah. I like the 1J because I like the sound of it. I like the sound of it, as well as it's not a very, very huge swap. There are people that 2J swap a lot. There's a lot of people that LS swap a lot. I respect both of them. But you show up with something that's a little bit more unique of a 1J, not a whole lot of people are going to look at that and be like,
right.
Some people will be like, that's, like, especially in car communities, or like you go to a big car show, a lot of them are going to sit there and be like, I acknowledge that. It's nice.
See, pulling out your inner James May on that one. Like, yes, beautiful. I like it.
And then I would shoot for like 600 to 700 horsepower on that, because
that's doable on a 1J.
Yeah,
honestly, you don't have to do too much. Nice turbo.
Well, with 2Js you don't have to do too much. I don't know about 1Js, but I know. Well, hell, even if we stretch it down to like 500 horse, I'd be comfortable with that. Like, it's not like it's a fun haver. So I mean, and then there is that part of it too. If I wanted to go out and drift it,
yeah,
and I wouldn't do a hydro either. Like, I wouldn't install a hydro on it. I would do classic Japanese handbrake right there. And yes, I would make sure that it's right hand drive as well.
Okay, that was going to be my next question. Is, are you going to get that thing right hand drive? Because you have to.
Yeah, at that point. Well, it's a Silvia at that point,
It has to be.
You got to do it. Now, if I have going back to like second project car, right? If it's the FC, left hand drive. If it's the FD, right hand drive. A little bit back and forth on the two of them. Yes, I know, but that's my preference. FCs I've seen. Center mount.
Right. Center mount.
But yeah,
with the F22 controls.
Dude, but I'm telling you, that swap to me, the 1J, like, I just recently, like, one of the games I've been playing on my PC, it made me fall in love with a 1J again. And like, there was a time where I thought about doing a 1.5JZ swap, which essentially is you're taking parts from a 2J, parts from a 1J, mix them together.
Yeah.
Adam LZ has done it. I think he put it in his E36 BMW. I think, I don't really know. I haven't really seen a whole lot on that build, but I know that he has done a 1.5JZ swap, which I guess if I wanted to go more towards that, I could, but I like the 1J. So,
I'm with you on that one, like 100%.
Oh yeah.
And the car too, like the S15 Silvia, that car's beautiful.
Oh my god.
Like, it doesn't matter what condition it's in. Like, it could have like, like old patina, some rust a little bit. It looks good.
Oh yeah.
Like, Japan freaking killed it on that one.
Oh yeah. Well, hell, even like the stock motor that's in it too. I think it's the SR20. It's the SR20s that are in them. I'd still leave that. If I had the opportunity, I would run that thing till it died, and then I would 1J swap it. But like, I mean, that'd be my baby. If I have the opportunity, I might even start saving for one right now. Yeah. But I mean, hell, like that car, if I had the opportunity to do it, I would take it in a heartbeat. And all I got to do is wait 3 more years, and then it's legal in the United States. That's all I got. 3 more years, and that's gonna.
That's right.
By. That's right. That specific model, and I guarantee you that car is gonna be $40,000
easily.
but it'll be worth
Easily.
it. It'll be worth it, and I will own one. At some point in my life, I will own one. Mark my words, I will own one.
Mark, check right now. Write it down.
Write it down.
Done. George Strait this shit. Write that down.
So then I guess we'll transition here into the supercar of
Oh,
of
now
our
you're
of
getting
our garage.
now you're getting into my realm.
Oh yeah. Now,
This could go anyway.
do you want to say yours or should I?
You know, I'm gonna let you go first.
There's one car that I've always held on to. Always. And for whatever reason, I don't know why. I like the car, like the way it looks, like the way it sounds. Can you guess what it is? I want to see what you think. Think what I'm thinking, and I'm gonna tell you it's between 2010 and 2015.
Oh boy! So you like the way it sounds. You've always liked it. You like the way it looks. Oh man, dude, this could be anything. Well, I know you don't like Ferraris and Lambos, so
Yep.
that's
So yeah,
that's
those
out.
two are out.
It's not those. I know. I don't think you're a big fan of Aston.
No.
Even though some of those, the V12, the Vantage, that does
Oh yeah,
sound good.
it does. It does.
Um,
And if I'm
man, you
I was
know-
gonna say if I'm gonna limit this a little bit more, it's not JDM, and it's not American. It is European.
well, yeah. Well, I mean, Europe's known for their supercars.
I mean, some people could throw the 2012
Because
Nissan GTR into it. So
well, I was gonna say the GTR or the LFA, but or the NSX. You can argue the NSX.
yeah, but it ain't.
But
it ain't.
no,
it
I'm
ain't
gonna.
for me.
The way it looks, the way it sounds.
Starts with the company starts with a P.
Oh, I know what you like. I like it too because I like the interior of it because it looks steampunky.
Mm-hmm.
Pagani Huayra.
2012
Huayra.
Pagani
Oh,
Huayra.
dude. That car, I absolutely 100%.
I don't know why. I don't. That car has always been in the back of my head. Always. And the way it sounds, the way it looks like a damn spaceship.
It does.
And I love it. Every second. The car cost like $2 million, I think. $2 or $3 million.
Maybe on like the low end, yeah.
Yeah. And I think it's got I think it's a 7-speed sequential transmission too.
No, it's not. It's
Or is it a manual?
It's a 7-speed manual. With,
Yeah.
I think the option to go sequential.
Like,
V12, I believe.
Yep,
racking
V12.
out like I think was it just shy of 800 horsepower.
yeah, something like that. But I just love
Yeah.
that car. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Every second, like I'll drive it in Forza. Oh, every time. I think what truly got me to really like that car, if I remember right, it was in CSR Racing on my iPod. And
I remember
think-
that game.
And I think
Yeah.
I think when I got it, I was like, yes.
See, that
'Cause-
was me. That was me with the Zonda.
I was gonna say that was the only other car was the Zonda, and the Zonda was like the car to have.
Yeah,
But
that's another fucking insane, incredible track car.
oh yeah,
What is that? Pagani? Is that what? Italian?
yep.
French?
Pagani's Italian. So yeah, I would do
Italians know what they're doing, man.
2012 Pagani Huayra.
Yeah, I like it. I think for mine, there's so many from the AMG GTR Black Series to the.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna argue I like the Centenario. I like the the SF80. I like the SF80.
There's a couple cars.
Brand new Friday just came out.
There's a couple cars that I like from Ferrari and from Lambo, but too many people like them, and I hate it. I'm sorry, I hate it.
No, I agree with you. I mean, there are some good ones like the 458 Speciale. Holy crap,
458
that's an amazing
458
car.
Italia would be a pick of mine.
Any 458, honestly.
Yeah.
Fuck, I sound like James again. I like Honda Civics. I like fucking 458s. Jesus. But no, I don't think. I think the one I would choose, probably out of all of them. I mean, for the viewers at home, going off of what I said earlier, you guys are probably gonna think, "Oh, he's gonna go AMG Black Series all day, right?" No, I'm not going to. I'm gonna go kind of off the wall here, and I'm gonna go with the. Well, it's kind of more of a hybrid car, but I'm gonna go with the Jesco.
Ooh. Okay.
The
You know what?
the Jesco.
You know what? I will very much respect that. Koenigsegg, especially with their recent car that they've just released too, where you can be either automatic or manual transmission.
Or go from both at this, like you could go boom to boom to boom to boom,
Mm-hmm.
This thing, like, it's insane. And then they just came out with a 4-door, like a
Rip.
family car.
Oh yeah, that's right. I heard something about that.
It's weird. It's like, here's a family car where you can,
Doesn't
put
this
your
still
kids in the
have like
back.
1,000 horsepower?
Yeah, I was gonna say it has like I think just shy or just over 1,000 horsepower. It's like, oh hey kids, we're gonna go to the store. Dad, why are we going 230 miles an hour? Don't worry about it.
Don't worry, son.
No.
We are on the Autobahn.
But no, the Jesco, if you look at it from an outside standpoint, but just looking at the way it looks,
Oh yeah.
it's sleek. It,
I-
it looks like it's from like the year like 35, 50.
Yeah. Oh
Like it's
God.
futuristic. I
The
think it has
active
a
arrow
very-
on it is perfect.
I was just gonna say it has active arrow, variable rear wing, kind of like the McLaren P1, which is
Mhm.
another. That was my second option was the P1. It was close.
Senna would be my second choice.
Yeah, but no, I mean, and then you get down to the technical bits of the Jesco. I think like almost all of it is carbon fiber.
No, I think every bit of it is carbon fiber.
Yeah, it's
It is.
insane.
Yeah, it's just nuts.
It's an incredible car. It's a good look into the future of hypercars.
Oh,
I
easily.
think for me, because if you can take the Jesco, everything's carbon fiber. It's super light. It makes a crap ton of horsepower. It looks good. I can't say it's affordable because I think it's like into the 7 figures. That's some I can't remember what the exact price is.
It's a couple million. I know. I think it's like
Yeah.
$5 or $6 million.
But I mean, if we can keep moving the way that the thing is technologically and
Oh yeah.
whatnot, oh boy.
Well, and then it
Fun.
bounces into what like Hennessy is doing with like an American-made hypercar, like that. Like I
Are you
think what,
talking the
I think it's called the
F5?
Yeah, I was gonna say I think it's called the F5. Isn't it? It's
Making like 1,200 horsepower.
yeah, it's I think a 4-liter V8 that's quad turboed. I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And thing just it screams so much. I was like, when I heard that, I was like,
Yeah.
hey, yo, Europe, America coming for that ass. Like, you know,
Yeah.
like,
I can't remember. Is that a flat plane?
yeah, it has to be. I mean,
Yeah.
I
Well, I
mean,
suppose, yeah, 'cause it's making fucking 1,200 horsepower.
like you could probably. I mean, obviously, if you build the car right, it'll make 1,200 horsepower. But like, when you're in the realm of hypercar, I think Koenigsegg's are flat plane. Right? I'd have to do.
V12s. I have to do a little more research on them because I haven't
Yeah.
done a lot since they came out with the 1-to-1, which is an insane freaking car. 1-to-1 power to weight ratio. That's cool with a 10-speed in it.
Yeah.
If I remember right. And then they also have the freaking was it the Regera
Yep.
that has 1 speed,
One speed, but it goes like
230
here to there.
miles an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah. Insane. And I think that was the one that's the land speed record was the Regera.
Initially, and then Bugatti took it, and then I think the Agera took it
Yeah,
back, and then the Chiron took it from Agera.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Koenigsegg and Bugatti have gone back and forth. I think the record's been between Bugatti's French, right?
Yeah, Bugatti's French.
So it's gone from
So
France to
it's the
Sweden.
French and the Swedes.
Yeah.
So it's baguettes and Volvos.
Baguettes versus Volvos. So I guess the last one we got here, since we've talked hypercars, strictly race car. This car is only for the track. If you want it to be street legal, you can. Mine is no. Mine is not going to be street legal.
Are they are they, race cars that we buy straight up, or we can like build them?
You build them, like you could buy a car that's like from factory made to race, or you can build it. I chose to build one. That's what I did. If you need time to think, I'll gladly take it first.
But it depends on what kind of racing we're doing, though.
Any type. Mine's drag
Because
racing.
I'm more of an autocross guy. I like going left, right, and stupid fast, right? So for mine, I'm gonna be looking at cars. I'm gonna be looking at most likely. I mean, this is probably gonna make you upset a little bit, but I like what they did with the FXX. What Ferrari did with the FXX.
Okay, I'll agree with you there. Ferrari did a very good job with it.
I like what they did with that, and I also like what McLaren did with the the F1.
Oh,
I know
yeah.
there are some that are street legal, but if I remember right, when it first came out, it wasn't
Yeah.
because it was the center seat.
Yeah. No, I gotcha. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't think much of those are street legal. The second you said center seat, I because it's a
Yeah,
three-seater, isn't it?
I think so.
Yeah. Like,
'Cause it's weird.
but for me, I'm gonna lean more into blue, because the other part was Ford Leadfoot Gray. Again, big fanboy of the color, but I'm gonna go more so
Fair.
like a blue. I don't know what specific blue. Probably as close to like what this pencil bag is for blue.
Okay. Like a
But
darkish blue,
a
a B3 blue.
yeah, like a 1970 Datsun 240Z.
Ooh, okay, I like that.
And I like it because in that realm I can see it for drag racing a little bit easier. Like obviously you can track it and
I
whatever,
can, I can.
but I would do a drag build.
The way the 70s 240s platformed, it's perfect for drag race.
Oh my,
Because the weight is almost exactly where you need it to be. It's light, it's small, it's quick and nimble.
engine bay is fantastic. You can shove practically any motor into it
Pretty
too.
much.
You know, and speaking of motor, LS7.
You big boy.
Yeah, LS7 with a turbo 400 transmission. Hopefully, the goal would be somewhere around 1100 horsepower ish.
So you're trying to push like nines.
Yeah. And nitrous.
Well, Piston 3 just went to the moon.
Yeah. I know. Again, a lot of people that are listening to this are going like, go supercharger, go turbo. Do anything but the spray. No, I want the spray.
Spray.
Too many people go turbos. Too many people go superchargers. Right? Or a lot of people go turbos. And nitrous is still there, but I want to do nitrous. I'll do nitrous at first. Obviously, once I send seven pistons to Mars faster than Elon Musk will ever get there, then I'll probably rebuild the damn thing to be a big turbo. But as it sits
So-
right now, my decision is I want nitrous.
So I'm gonna throw a hypothetical at you. I'm not really hypothetical, but I'm gonna throw a question at you. What about pro charging?
I would do a pro charger. The only problem is, because obviously you got the benefits of supercharger and turbo.
Turbo. Hmm?
The downside, and you also have their downsides as well. Like a supercharger's downside is that it takes power to make power. Turbos it takes a while because there's that lag to it. Whereas if you're running nitrous, it's instant power, instant torque, everything. And as long as that duration's going, right? So there is that. And I have thought about too where I use nitrous in the beginning and then big turbo as well. So essentially the nitrous would assist the turbo into spooling. And then there's that bit of it too. It's just like, well, why don't you just I think it's called dual charging where you throw a supercharger and then I could do it that way. But again, I mean, just because I have the room in the engine bay doesn't mean I should do it, because you have to fit, depending on the size of the turbo, or if you run twin turbos,
Yeah, fit that all the tubing, all
Yeah.
the ductwork.
and then you on top of that
The
you have to fit
intercooler.
then you have to fit the supercharger into it. The supercharger would replace the lag of the turbos, but the other bit of it is too, once you get lined up for drag racing and you have time to build that boost, that lag off the line isn't really
It's
there
not
anymore.
Really.
There's
Uh-huh.
like obviously that's the reason for two-step, or that's the reason that they sit and hold there and build boost. It's the same thing with superchargers too. Like there's a reason why they sit and build a little bit of boost and then go. Superchargers are instant power, instant torque, yes, but it was just
But
like what I just
you
said.
you need power for the supercharger to make the power.
Yes, and so
Right. Whereas a
like,
turbo, you don't necessarily need a lot of power.
yeah,
You just need to get it spinning, and then everything comes after that.
yeah, and that's why like if it's from a dig, right? Like there's no two-step into it. That's why like nitrous and then nitrous to like fill in that turbo lag, it'd be nice, but that's why initially I would just go nitrous. That and I hear all the time, like I like turbos. I have a turbocharged diesel, so I hear my turbo all the time, and I've owned now 2 turbo vehicles. I like turbos. I want to do something different, and I've owned a naturally aspirated vehicle or two of them. You know, I don't necessarily hate superchargers. I would like to own a supercharged vehicle.
The direct, because mine, my Mercedes is supercharged, and that direct power is nice. I mean, right away it's nice. The whine, I mean, there's a little bit of whine there. But you also gotta be careful though, because with the supercharger, the more RPMs you have, the more boost you have. So you gotta watch what you're doing. Whereas a turbo, you can kind of get a little away with it a little bit. Whereas on a supercharger, if you're not careful and you redline too long, that's what happened in my car. Is I actually I missed a shift, and it just
so
too much boost.
But yeah, and that's why I would run nitrous as well, is because you can sit there and tune the nitrous to be like, all right, I'm struggling a little bit low end. You know, I could tune it to hit more nitrous off of it so I can get off the line quicker. Or, I'm struggling top end. I need more nitrous there, And obviously, like, refilling bottles and all that crap is spendy, yes. But when all you got to do is go A to B in 10 seconds.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Worth it.
So, yeah, it'd be worth it. And I think, like, payout-wise, I think I would have a little bit of fun with it again before I beat Elon Musk to Mars with my pistons.
To Mars.
So,
what the fuck is this? Oh, it's piston 3 that's an LS7.
From an LS7. You know what vehicle is it? Yeah, it looks like a Blue 240Z. How could you tell that? There's paint from the hood.
Well, there's the Datsun logos just in like the top of the head.
Like the 240 and everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's what
I do like how you went Datsun though. A lot of people nowadays a lot of people don't even know what Datsun is.
Oh yeah. But like, and some people too, like listening to this, when you hear blue like Datsun 240Z, or I guess Fairlady Z, depending on
what
a lot of people think of
setup.
Oh, what's the show? It's kind of like Initial D. It's but it's essentially like the Night Runners and all that. Okay. Or not Night Runners. Midnight Club.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
Like
the Midnight, that could be an entire episode itself.
Yeah. Like essentially, because I think there was a Blue 240Z or Blue Fairlady Z in there. And they made, I know there's an anime about it. I can't remember what it is. If you know what it is, put it down in the comments because I can't remember. But
I don't watch anime, so
But like that, a lot of people, I think it's called the Devil Z in that anime. And so like if somebody listening to this makes that connection, it's not related to that at all. I just like a Blue 240Z. That's what I like. And yes, Datsun, not.
Maybe with me, if I'm gonna do a Datsun, I'm gonna do that weird like the old 4-door looking one, and it's gonna be in that like burnt orange.
Oh yeah.
That it came in.
And then you shove the biggest block of the big blocks in there and just rip it.
Nah, I'm gonna do something completely stupid. Fucking 2-rotor.
Oh hell yeah. Hell yeah.
What the heck? Why is this thing making this sound? Or if you want to go really, really crazy, if you're going to drag race and do something that no one's ever someone's probably done it, but not like to the level of like actually like knowing about it.
Yeah.
Freaking like an LS, like you could probably fit an LS3 in it. A lot of.
Hey, it is what it is.
Anyway.
So this last little segment we've got going on here is I kind of have a bit of examples on the spreadsheet that I sent to Natron, but I kind of just want to throw one thing out there. Your dream road or dream trip, dream everything, you have to take my car. And I'm planning mine out kind of with my girlfriend. All the ones that I have on that list are kind of now, well, one of them is like the only thing that's realistic for me. And essentially what we're planning on doing is a cross-country cruise and getting in a nice vehicle and then taking a tour of the country. Our goal was within a month. But I would really like to drive on Tail of the Dragon. That's a very big personal goal of mine. And I frankly don't feel like taking my truck all the way out there and having my truck on a road like that. I feel like if I'm going to go on a road like that, I'm going to go in something that a little bit more sporty. So, and comfortable. So, because obviously you're going to be in a car for, on and off
Days.
for a month. So,
Yeah, like good lord.
so, but yeah. So for me, dream trip is that cross country cruise, and the road I want to hit is Tail of the Dragon.
I think for me, this is one that I've kind of always wanted to do since I was a kid. It's I'm not really sure what car I want to use yet. I kind of want to use like an old Jaguar for it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe like an old Aston, if I could. But I want to go around like Scotland,
Ooh.
like the Northern Isles
Yep.
of the UK.
Yep.
And just do that. Like, oh, it's so pretty out there. And of course you're in the UK, so you got to be in a classic British car.
Yeah. Well,
So,
you can just get a right-hand drive Mustang over there.
Yeah, well, I'm not Richard Hammond, am I? No, if I'm gonna go over there, I'm gonna be in a nice car. And if we're going back off of if we're gonna go off like the Dream Garage type thing, where we just have
Mm-hmm.
whatever money to spend, like FU money. Honestly, if I'm going around Scotland, I'm gonna channel my inner James Bond,
DB5.
DB5, all day.
I can respect that in the
Convertible,
highest
the-
regard.
Convertible DB5.
Ooh.
That's like the dream. That's like the piece de resistance.
Oh yeah, easily. Yeah.
And if I had to do like a second one, like just like a second trip, whatever, I'd probably do, like through the mountains of Japan. Like
Oh, yeah.
the midnight
Yeah.
club soul stomping grounds, and I'd probably go up there in like an S14 or S15.
Yeah, I feel like you'd have to at that point.
Yeah.
And like for me,
No, I'm gonna take a Dodge Ram 2500 diesel.
I'm gonna take my TRX up there.
Yeah.
But
Oh, those would be the two I do.
like honestly, if I were to do that, I feel like it's like you're in Japan, you gotta do R34 Skyline up the mountain.
Yeah.
Like I feel like you have to. But yeah, I could respect that'd be a good like close second for me. But I also told my girlfriend that if we ever go to Japan, I'm coming back with like 4 cars.
I the same.
I cannot
Yeah.
be trusted to not import 4B, you know.
Why is this car tagged in Canada? Don't worry about it.
Shh, shh. That's our little secret. The government doesn't need to know.
Shit.
Alrighty. Well, that covers everything for this episode. Again, if you guys would like to hear us talk about something that you want to hear on the show, please leave it down in the comments. We will gladly add it to our list. Topics, we got a good little list going already. And yeah, who knows? Maybe it's already on the list and you just will have to wait a couple episodes to hear about it.
What do we have lined up for next week?
That's a good question. Let me go through here and pull that up. Week 2 is opening. Okay, never mind. I don't have much on that. Let's go to the schedule then. The schedule.
Well, while he's looking for that, I'll give a little background of why it's taking so long and where we kind of came with this idea. God, this was what 6 months ago now at this point.
Dude, it's been in the works for a while.
We came to the ideas. We were actually we both worked together in the same career kind of.
Yeah.
And we were going to lunch one day. I just thought we were just going to lunch.
Not
Just
one day,
bullshitting.
like 2 weeks consistently. It was really funny.
Well, yeah, true. But it was one day we went to lunch. We got like pancheros or something, like burritos. And on the way to pick up our food and on the way back, we talked constantly about cars. Like, hey, you know what? We're doing this. Why don't we do like a podcast or something, right? Like that's a freaking genius idea.
It was towards the end of COVID too, when everybody was like, "We should do a podcast."
Yeah, it's like the middle of summer, kind of.
Yeah.
ish. Maybe the beginning of summer. I can't. It was
I think it was
hot.
beginning,
I have my
yeah.
Mercedes. All the windows were down. The sunroof was open. I was like, hey, let's do a podcast. So I was like, yeah, shit, hell yeah, let's do it. So we started brainstorming. And one night at like 2 a.m., we were both working the same shift, and I think we just spent like an hour
Brainstorming.
just brainstorming, coming up with ideas. I think we got all of our. We're like what 8 weeks I think we had, or something like crazy like that.
Yeah,
We
it
have
was
8
something
weeks planned. We have 8 weeks planned, ready to go, and then from there we'll take, all of y'all's Texas, all of y'all's, your comments and your
Yeah.
discussions and everything of what you guys like, and we'll start integrating that into more, and hopefully that you guys like it. We can keep dealing with this because this is something that we both are passionate about. we both love cars. We've done it since he's in high school. I was, in middle school. Same thing, basically.
Yeah. So.
So yeah, and
yeah, I mean,
that's just the background of how we started this.
Oh yeah, and so with that, next week we have kind of 3 topics, but rolled into one general. It's about engines, as well as kind of mods to those engines.
Oh, now we're getting into the technical stuff that I like.
Yep. So,
beautiful.
But we're not going to dive down into like what week 3 or episode 3 is about. Episode 2 is the 3 topics we're touching on is engines, the best and the worst. That means for like performance, sound, everything. And then the best swaps and the worst swaps or cursed swaps that you could do to a vehicle. I
feel like that one could get pretty controversial.
Oh yeah.
I feel like there's some people out there that think like, the weird ones are like really, really good.
Yep.
There's other people out there who think like, the ones that everyone does.
Oh yeah.
Are stupid.
Oh yeah. And then topic 2 of next week or next episode. How much power is too much? Or how much power is too little? And again, a little bit of a broad spectrum there, but we'll get to it when we get to it. And the last one, number 3 of episode 2. Turbos, superchargers, or nitrous. Or we can also throw NA on there too. So, and then
I think next
episode's going to be a little bit of fun. And then episode 3, I guess if I want to leak anything on that right now too, we're kind of diving more into this versus that, but more so like engines, transmissions, and then flashing back to like a car's legacy, essentially, like the evolution of the Mustang, the evolution of the Camaro. Old versus new on that kind of side.
History, my favorite. That's going to be a fun one. I'm gonna fill you guys with the crazy history facts, and maybe, just maybe, we might have a guest that week.
Ooh, yeah, we just might. You guys will have to stay tuned and find out. So, thank you guys for taking the time to come in and listen to us talk. If you have any suggestions for us to talk about, please leave it down in the comments, and we'll catch you guys in the next episode. Peace.